So much for joining us today. My name is Itir Clarke. I'm a senior PMM at Proofpoint. I am responsible for our cloud access security broker product. In short, the industry calls it CASB. So I'm going to talk to you about our Proofpoint CASB solution and how this particular solution helps you protect your people and the way they work in the cloud. Okay. Today, specifically, in this session, I'm going to focus on threat protection portion of the product, but the product is also is an information protection component to it. And if you want to hear more about that, come by on Thursday. I have a session at 11:15, I believe. So let's just jump into it. I think we're all aware. Last year, I was interviewing a number of CIOs, and half the time, they kept saying, my strategy is cloud first. Many CIOs out there are trying to eliminate that last data center and move everything to the cloud. Through this digital transformation, what we're seeing is the users and all their data is now moving to the cloud. They are no longer sitting in corporate buildings behind corporate firewalls. The data is no longer on file servers that sit on-premise, on-premises file shares, etc. And what that does is now we have the data sitting in the cloud in this highly porous environment being accessed from multitudes of different types of networks. Just like everybody else, I'm to be blamed for not taking enough precautions when I'm accessing these systems from Wi-Fi. I might be at a Starbucks, and you might have heard of malicious Wi-Fi's running on Starbucks and environments, etc. There was an example of that in South America, for example. You might be accessing your data, accessing your email from your device, and that could be your laptop, that could be your mobile phone from a multitude of different clients. So what we're going to do is these things, your location, your device, etc., starts to, and the applications you're accessing, the location you're accessing from starts to define you as the object to protect. Okay, not the network, not the system, but the person. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So how our cloud accounts are targeted, right? As we said, we're all moving to the cloud. Our systems are moving to the cloud. Our people and data is moving to the cloud. What we're seeing, of course, is email-based attacks on the people, and with the object of compromising their credentials through email phishing, for example, is one of still the number one threat against cloud accounts. But we're also seeing malware. We're also seeing brute force attacks to compromise cloud accounts. We're also seeing other things like malicious third-party add-on apps in Office 365 environments or in G Suite environments, etc. So Proofpoint provides a number of different platforms to help you protect your cloud accounts and provides both email and SaaS protection solutions that provides threat controls and information controls. As I mentioned, I'm going to talk a little bit about the threat protection piece of our CASB solution. Our Cloud App Security Broker product is unique in the fact that it provides a very comprehensive solution for cloud app security. It provides a sandboxing capability for malware detection and URL-based phishing detection, as well as has a unique ability to actually correlate threat intelligence that we get from our email platform, as well as from our emerging threats intelligence platform with the user behavior analytics that we bring through our CASB platform. That's very unique, right? Many attacks actually start in email, through external email, and then if they compromise your account, it continues. It can continue in a multitude of different ways. It can continue as internal email-based credential phishing. It can continue as a data breach, right? And it's really important because of that. You also need to make sure your CASB solution provides DLP capabilities and also other data security capabilities that prevent prevent accidental sharing of sensitive data, right? The other thing that's really important is visibility is halfway to security. We do a very complete audit of our the cloud applications, the user behavior, DLP activities, etc., and give you pretty significant visibility to what your VIP users are doing. And what do I mean by VIP users? I mean your board members, your C-level executives, and some folks that are really important, like folks in your finance department who might be filing your SEC filings, right? So it's really important to be able to sort of keep an eye on the key people you have in your organization. And you can do that. You can, with our platform, you can create alerts and track activity for those people. The other thing you can do is through the integration with our TAP platform, you can see how and who is being targeted from external sources outside of your company to see, okay, who do I keep an eye on? These are really important factors. Another aspect of cloud apps is these third-party add-on applications. We have actually last year found a malicious application and have worked with Google to ensure that this particular malicious application was taken off their app marketplace. But they don't have to be malicious. There are a number of apps out there that are not that well designed or are somewhat overreaching. They have data permissions that can access your email, your contacts, as well as your files. So it's really important. I mean, if you have a concern like GDPR, you don't want a third-party application siphoning off your email data, your contacts data, and then be processing it on different parts of the world. So it's really important to keep an eye on these third-party applications as well. We have an ability to do that for your Office 365 environment, and in the meantime, do things like DLP on your collaboration applications, your cloud-based storage applications, such as, G Drive for G Suite, or OneDrive for business on Office 365, SharePoint, etc. So I think we talked a little bit about the cloud threat detection portion of our platform, but I just wanted to highlight again why the Proofpoint Cloud App Security Broker has a unique approach to threat detection. First of all, we have the ability to determine whether a user is being targeted or whether that particular user is vulnerable. What's a targeted? Well, as I mentioned, some of your C-level executives might be being targeted by email campaigns. Somebody might be trying to phish their credentials. The other aspect of it is, you may have a VP out there that has a lot of his content in a publicly shared or, excessively shared folder. These are really important to determine to see if there is a particular need to protect that particular person. The other thing is we actually monitor the behavior of the user. Well, for example, I'll give you a very simple example. We have a particular activity called Too Fast to Travel. Too Fast to Travel means you can't be accessing your account in the United States at 10:55 and then turn around and be accessing it in China at 11 a.m. So we have these types of algorithms that allows us to determine unusual, anomalous activity. if you start wrapping all that together with all the threat intelligence we're receiving from our email platform, from our cloud platform, from our emerging threats intelligence platform, etc., it really starts to help us improve our ability to detect breach. Okay, whether that's the data breach, whether it's just compromise of the credentials, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, we get really good visibility to threats. Now, I just wanted to give you an example. This is an account. It's a retailer with 65,000 Office 365 accounts. And we were doing a risk assessment for them. Very briefly into the engagement, they informed us we must have been phished. We've just found out that one of our users reported that their account's being used for credential phishing. So we just jumped in and started looking into what was happening. What we determined through the use of our platform, we determined the footprint of the attacker. We were able to determine that this attacker was coming from Nigeria from 2 IP addresses, and that we could see that that particular attacker was not only compromising this one particular lady's account, but 22 other accounts across this retailer. At that point, we were able to notify the administrator and take action, whether that is, changing the passwords for those accounts, or continuing to monitor the activity of the attacker to further understand what they are after, right? So those are all possible. Now, I just wanted to inform you that Proofpoint actually provides a free SaaS risk assessment for our customers. It is extremely easy and quick and no risk to set up, okay? All we do for this risk assessment is you provide us with your, you basically establish API connectivity into your cloud app. In this case, we can do this for Office 365, G Suite, and Box. We run the free risk assessment for 2 to 4 weeks, and then at the end of the engagement, you receive a detailed report from us that shows you malware and phishing activity, whether there is any DLP violations, any kind of broad sharing of information that can be risky, as well as targeted users or folks who might have had their credentials compromised, as well as third-party apps information. So I encourage you to search for Proofpoint Cloud App Security Broker or Proofpoint SaaS Risk Assessment and sign up to do one of these assessments. Now, finally, I think where to finish. I think it's important to understand Proofpoint has the ability to provide you with holistic threat protection for G Suite and Office 365. That's both for email and cloud. We have the ability to give you great insights and analytics, provide you with cross-channel correlation of threats, and give you the visibility for that, as well as granular policy-driven remediation and step-up authentication to help you with any kind of trouble you may have with compromised accounts, etc. Okay, so come on by the booth. We can do a demo of the product for you in detail, or come by and see the data protection piece of this product on Thursday at 11:15. Now, thank you for listening.